Hollywood will soon see an increased police presence after the Los Angeles City Council approved funding August 10th, intended to address a recent increase in crime in the area.
The Los Angeles City Council approved $216,000 in funding for more police patrols in Hollywood. That's to address a rise in crime. Mayor Pro Tem Mitch O'Farrell introduced the motion. He said last week, quote, "If you plan to come to Hollywood to commit crimes, you are not welcome." O'Farrell added that Hollywood may be one of the most diverse cities in LA, but on Wednesday, one public commenter accused the bill of targeting black people. According to statistics from the councilman's office, there has been a 75% increase in homicides and a 36% increase in shots fired this year compared to last year. Robbery was up 20% and theft up 25%. Blake Chow, deputy chief for the Los Angeles Police Department, said that they are looking forward to quickly employing these additional resources to prevent, deter, and address crime in Hollywood. Daniel Hall, NTD News, California.
California is piloting a new program to provide college savings funds for certain children. The youngest recipients of the funds will be newborns. NTD's Eileen Ng reports.
Governor Gavin Newsom announced on Wednesday a $1.9 billion college savings program for 3.4 million low-income newborns and public school students. It's called the Cal Kids program, and the purpose is to help them get a head start on college savings.
The dignity that comes with that, the conversations you're going to have with your kids you may have never had before because of this extraordinary opportunity, the largest program of its type anywhere, any jurisdiction, in any country.
Babies born on or after July 1st can get up to $100. Low-income school-age children in grades 1 to 12 can get up to $1,500. Parents can register their newborns to an online portal to create an account. In the disclaimer at the bottom of the website, it says, if the funds aren't used for qualified higher education expenses, a 10% federal penalty tax on earnings may apply. Non-qualified withdrawals may also be subject to an additional 2.5% California tax on earnings.
A former manager at Twitter was found guilty of spying for Saudi Arabia. Egypt-born U.S. resident Ahmad Abuwamo had provided the country with the personal information of anonymous Twitter users that were criticizing the kingdom and its royal family on the platform. Evidence showed that Abuwamo received $300,000 in wire transfers and a Hublot watch, which were said to be bribes for the information. He faces 10 to 20 years in prison. Authorities in Silicon Valley believe to have solved a cold case murder from 40 years ago, thanks to a detective and DNA analysis. The victim was a teenage girl found dead with 59 stab wounds.
The Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office announced on Tuesday that they charged 75-year-old Gary Ramirez for the stabbing, murder, and sexual assault of 15-year-old Karen Stitt. A Sunnyvale detective said Stitt was last seen in 1982 walking at night toward a bus stop in Sunnyvale. The next morning, her body was found about 300 feet from the bus stop with the killer's blood and bodily fluid on Stitt. Ramirez is a resident of Hawaii but grew up in Fresno. If he's convicted for murder, kidnapping, and rape charges, he faces life in prison without parole.
The Port of Los Angeles and Inglewood will receive grants from the U.S. Department of Transportation. The state senators spoke in support of the funding.
A program from the U.S. Department of Transportation is working to rebuild infrastructure. As a result, the Port of Los Angeles and Inglewood will receive millions of dollars in grants. The Port of Los Angeles will receive $20 million for the construction of a 4-lane railroadway grade separation located on Terminal Island. The Inglewood Transit Center project will receive $15 million for an approximately 1.6-mile transit system with 3 stations. Senators Alex Padilla and Dianne Feinstein said that it would improve safety and benefit the California economy. In a statement, Padilla said, as the bipartisan infrastructure law continues to deliver for California, I'm proud to see significant investments from this historic legislation for local and regional transportation infrastructure projects. Feinstein said the bipartisan infrastructure law that President Biden signed last year continues to deliver big wins for California. The grants are part of a program funding 8 local governments, transit agencies, and tribes in California. It comes from the Rebuilding American Infrastructure and Sustainability Equity Program.
A major transit system in San Francisco has employed a new, highly specialized station guard, and his target are hordes of pigeons that have been causing a nuisance at stops. NTD's Jackie Rios reports.
San Francisco's Bay Area Rapid Transit System, or BART, has contracted a new station guard who has been patrolling the station in recent months. The guard's name is Pac-Man, a Harris hawk. He's been on the lookout for pigeons at El Cerrito del Norte station. His mission is to keep pigeons under control in the area and protect commuters from pigeon droppings. Ricky Ortiz, a falconer and Pac-Man's handler, described the security detail.
We work our way up here to the platforms and just check the ledges and the roof and make sure that they're not trying to sneak in on us and keep them out. And he does a pretty good job of that.
Despite BART installing netting and spikes on station structure, the nuanced pigeons still managed to get through. Ortiz talked about how much of an impact Pac-Man is making.
Just after the first week or so, we noticed a huge difference. Probably less than half of the pigeons were here after the first week of us flying, establishing the territory.
One commuter acknowledged one reason for the pigeons being around is that commuters feed them. But having Pac-Man around helps to deter them.
It's a neat way of curbing the pigeon problem. You know, there's a lot of people that feed them. I know they're not supposed to, but you know, it's not enforced. But this seems to be a good way to keep them under control.
One commuter, though, was unsure at first upon seeing Pac-Man for the first time.
Oh, I was scared. I switched cars because I wasn't going to be trapped in a metal box with a bird of prey.
Ortiz noticed, though, for the most part, most commuters are pleasantly surprised upon seeing Pac-Man.
Most of the commuters are pretty excited and happy to see him. You know, most of them have a lot of questions. If is it an eagle, falcon, what kind of bird, where is he from, what am I doing, stuff like that. So it's fun to get to interact and educate the public.
To keep Pac-Man happy, Ortiz will give snacks throughout the day. Also, it keeps Pac-Man from making a meal out of any pigeons or local rodents that might be hanging around. Jackie Rios, NTD News, California.